Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm hopping on the tired and worn down trend of discussing some of my unpopular kpop opinions because I need validation in order to live. Please keep in mind that these are my opinions, and if anything sounds like hate towards your faves, I don't mean for it to. I stan almost every idol and group I mention here, so please don't flame me in the comments. Number 1, Jennie is the only member who should be a soloist. She isn't even my bias, but logically, she's the only member who could carry a whole solo career well. Lisa is my bias and I love her, and although her solo debut would be successful due to her amount of fans, in terms of quality I don't see it measuring up to her work with the group. Basically Blackpink are fried chicken and Lisa is hot sauce. That's why she stands out. If you take the chicken away and just drink a whole bottle of hot sauce, you're not gonna have a good time. Without the chicken, the hot sauce just doesn't hit the same. Being the most charismatic member doesn't always translate to a solo setting. Rose's voice is lovely and we all wish she could release solo music, but with as much criticism as she already receives for her techniques, do we really want her in a position where she'll be clowned by antis for the entire promotion? Even overlooking concerns about antis, hell, Jennie has way more antis and still had a successful solo. Rose, unlike Jennie, is the least popular member and won't get the results that Jennie got or that Lisa would get if she dropped the solo, and underperforming could make you never give her a solo comeback because they don't see her as bankable. And there go her chances of ever getting the solo deals and promotions the other girls get. The same can be said for Jisoo, if she actually wanted a solo debut, though I'm sure she'd rather just act. Jisoo has a leg up in that she has no antis, but that may be because she's also not as popular as Jennie and Lisa. Like Rouse, a solo debut would be a risk, but if Jisoo were to flop I doubt she or Yg would care about a comeback because she could always go into acting. Circling back to why Jennie is the only one I see having a lasting solo career, she's already the center of Blackpink, so becoming a soloist doesn't feel like taking one of the accent pieces out of Blackpink and making it the main piece of furniture in the room. It feels like moving the couch from a full living room to a living room where it's the only furniture piece. That on top of Jennie being the second most famous member who constantly has all eyes on her wondering what move she's going to pull next means there's always buzz, an audience, and profit to be made from her as a solo act that I don't see for the other girls. But you will never release the other girls' solos anyway, so does it really matter? LMO. Number 2, artists who were in produce groups should go solo instead of joining new groups. Unless the group has already existed for years like Newest, in which case you have go back to your group lol. Forming a new group around one or two famous members has worked for literally none of the idols. The only members of produce groups who are household names for casual kpop stans at this point are Chungha, Daniel, Kyoung and Sami. To be fair, Kyoung was in Priston, but they only ever had one comeback, so do they really count? Even when we look at the post-produce groups, the only members anyone knows are the produce members. If you don't stan Weki Muki, you know Doyeon. If you don't stan AB66, you know Dewey. After produce, these groups are supposed to be successful, but many of them, especially the IA era groups, are struggling to stay together because recognition for an idol in one group does not bring the same loyalty to them in another group. We see groups like DR and where Chungha, who went solo, is. Imagine if after every produce group disbanded we got a dozen new Chunghas in the industry to really go toe-to-toe with the idol group trends we've had for the past 15 years. It would change the Kpop game as we know it. Number 3, companies that want to expand a group into the West should decide that pre-debut and pick members accordingly. I get that markets change, but with the way Kpop has been expanding in the West these past few years, that means companies have had more than enough time to figure out what type of members they need for success in the West if that's a goal for the group. If you know you're going to be promoting in the West, have more than one member who is fluent in English. When helping idols learn how to play up their personalities, don't make groups full of edgy and cringe things that Western audiences will scoff at. And for the love of God, stop having 1.5 million members in these groups. Western audiences are used to groups with 3 to 6 members, so why are you thinking throwing 9+ Asian people at the already xenophobic Western public is a good idea? Number 4, iKON should disband. I am a hardcore iconic. I have been for years. When Hanbin left, my main worry was what is iKON going to do without him. It's not just that he was their lyricist, producer, main rapper, center, and leader, but he was such a driving force behind their creative direction that taking him out makes the group feel hollow. Watching their comeback felt like watching a shell of icon. Even though he produced their most recent comeback, his presence was still noticeably missing as a whole, and I don't know if it's a space the remaining 6 members will ever be able to fill in a way that doesn't deviate from the icon we love. I'd rather them go their separate ways and leave icon's legacy the way it is than scramble to pick up the pieces of such a crushing blow and try putting them back together as something that's sad and unrecognizable. Number 5. Twice needs to build up individual recognition or else they won't all resign. Jipe is terrified of creating another Suzy situation, but Twice are unstoppable at this point. They're the top girl group and everything they release is a hit. Their name is the brand. When the Suzy situation happened, Misa wasn't solidified as a group in the public eye and neither was their brand, which is how Suzy overshadowed them so easily. However, with Twice at the level they are, they need to start doing individual promotions, brand deals, acting, or even subunits to build their brands as individuals. If not, what reason will they have to stay in Jipe, dividing the limelight, songs, and most importantly profits between the 9 of them, when they could go elsewhere and actually make money for themselves and themselves only? Number 6. People didn't hate Superm because of the members, the bundles controversy, or even their goal of being successful in the West. They didn't hate them because of the quote-unquote inorganic way they were formed. They hated them because their unconventional, unheard of in kpop, are an out-of-the-box approach that unfortunately for kpop stans, was a huge success and forced stans to realize that there's more than one path to success, and using the concept and power of devoted solo stans for the members involved actually worked. Superm changed the way we look at kpop in the West and the different ways groups are able to achieve success. But change makes people uncomfortable. And facing the fact that things aren't so cut and clear black and white in the kpop industry confuses and frustrates fans who expect the industry to remain predictable and for everyone to play by the predetermined rules of the kpop game makers. Number 7. Pentagon will never bounce back to their post-Shine hype. This is sad, but unfortunately, lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. Once a group gets a shot at their big break, if the wrong choices are made, the timing will likely never be right for them again. Pentagon has endless potential, but after the fumble of promoting Triple H instead of giving Pentagon a comeback after Shine went viral, and the subsequent fallout of that situation by losing a Dawn, which, mind you, wouldn't have happened if Triple H hadn't had a comeback for Hyuna and Adon's relationship to be noticed in the first place, as well as lackluster promotions for newer comebacks and Yunan being on a random hiatus not allowed to return to the group with zero explanation given. Even a strong performance on Kingdom or even winning the show may not be enough to save the group, and they'll fizzle out like every could-have-been boy group we've seen disappear over the years. Number 8. Monsta X is on their way out of the spotlight. Enlistment is around the corner. Their summer tour has essentially been cancelled due to the coronavirus. Their English album did decent but didn't fully bring the results I'm sure their American label expected, plus add in their most popular member leaving and the members themselves looking exhausted and completely detached from everything they're doing anymore. Even if they continue as subunits or a full group without the enlisted members, Starship has a shiny new Tooth Decay boy group and Cosmic Girls they could be putting money and resources into with more chance of success. Groups come and go and all companies focus on newer groups rather than senior groups, so there's nothing inherently new or bad about this, but it sucks because this time last year it seemed like Monsta X's momentum was skyrocketing and they'd soon solidify themselves as a top group in the history of Kpop. Number 9. Mamamoo didn't become appreciated until they switched to a modern sound instead of their retro concepts. In my opinion, a group can have one of two things be their main attraction for stans, have interesting concepts, or have superior vocals or dancing/performances. Groups like Red Velvet have god-tier vocals but they're known for their concepts. Groups like Tease are known for their flawless performances but their concepts are generic, and I say this as a fan. Mamamoo can sing their butts off, so there was no need to have the retro concept put on them as part of their image or gimmick. You can literally have them sing the phone book and it'd be a hit. By stripping away the gimmick of retro concepts and sounds, their voices are allowed to shine through, and it's why a lot of fans consider them to have superior vocals to Red Velvet, because Red Velvet's convoluted concepts overshadow their vocals. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope none of my opinions got your blood boiling, and if they did, you drink some chamomile or something, because this is just Kpop and it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, toodles, and don't forget to stream Stray Kids Come Back in June.